Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and, honestly, one of the most contradictory personality types out there, the INFJ. They're called the advocate, which sounds great, right? But there's a reason they're also considered one of the most dangerous. Let's get into it.
Okay, first things first, you have to understand just how rare INFJs are. We're talking less than 2% of the population. And that rarity? It's a huge part of why they so often feel completely misunderstood by the world.
And that really brings us to the core puzzle we're trying to solve here. On one hand, you have this image of a gentle, wise counselor, but on the other, you've got these serious warnings that they could be the most dangerous personality type of all. So what's the real story? Let's break it down.
To really get a handle on this contradiction, we've got to start with the fundamentals. We have to look at what actually makes an INFJ, well, an INFJ.
So that acronym INFJ, it gives us our first big clues. The I is for introversion, which means they recharge their batteries by being alone. N is for intuition, so they're always looking at the big picture, the patterns, what could be, instead of just what is. F is for feeling, meaning they make decisions based on their values and how things will impact people. And J is for judging, which just means they like to have a plan and a sense of order.
All right, now let's talk about what most of us see on the surface. These are the traits that get them that advocate nickname. You could almost think of them as their superpowers.
NFJs just have this wild ability to make you feel instantly at ease. I mean, complete strangers will find themselves spilling their deepest secrets to them. And that's because they don't just listen, it feels like they literally absorb what you're feeling. They're so perceptive, they seem to understand your motivations in seconds. They're not here for small talk, they're all about those deep, real connections.
And this all ties back to their most powerful tool, that intuition. It is so strong that people have described it as a kind of psychic ability. INFJs just see these hidden patterns in human behavior that most of us completely miss. It gives them this incredible sixth sense about people and situations, a power that, honestly, they often can't even explain themselves.
But you know how it goes. Every superpower comes with a cost. The very things that make them so incredibly insightful also create this massive amount of internal pressure. And this is where we start to see the first cracks appear in that perfect advocate image.
See, INFJs have this all-or-nothing approach to basically everything in life. When they're passionate about something, they dive in head first with an intensity that's all about quality, not quantity. But that relentless drive, it's a recipe for some serious burnout.
And this constant striving for perfection, well, it definitely has a dark side. They have this deep, deep fear of failing. And the irony is, that can actually make them procrastinate. They're so afraid of not doing something perfectly that they might not do it at all. They also take criticism really hard. And since they can't stand conflict, their go-to move is to just bottle up all those negative feelings inside.
So, what do you think happens when all of that bottled up emotion, that sensitivity, and that intense pressure finally boils over? Well, that's when we enter the shadow side. That's the reason some people call the INFJ dangerous.
And it can often start with this, the INFJ stare. It's not meant to be romantic and it's not aggressive, it's just pure, unfiltered analysis. Their mind is firing on all cylinders, observing every little thing about you. But if you're on the receiving end of that intense, piercing gaze, it can feel incredibly intimidating, really unsettling.
Now, to give you a sense of just how intense this side of them can be perceived, one source makes this pretty dramatic comparison. And look, while that's obviously extreme, it does highlight the potential for real darkness in an INFJ who feels betrayed or is deeply unhealthy. The same drive that can push them to do amazing good can get twisted into something, well, something destructive. And here's the crucial point. Their greatest strengths can flip and become their most dangerous weapons. You know that incredible insight they have into your soul? Well, it can be used to manipulate. And all those emotions they've been bottling up, they can explode into what's known as INFJ rage, a sudden, shocking outburst. And their ability to see your deepest fears and weaknesses? Yeah, they can use that knowledge with surgical precision to take you apart. This all leads us to maybe the most famous or infamous INFJ behavior of all. When everything else has failed, when they feel like they absolutely have to protect themselves, they will resort to the door slam.
So the door slam isn't just ignoring someone or being mad at them. It is a conscious, decisive, and permanent act of emotional self-preservation. When an INFJ has been hurt one too many times, they will literally erase you from their life to stop any more damage. And it is completely different from ghosting. Ghosting is passive, right? Someone just kind of fades out, hoping the problem just goes away. The door slam is active. It is final. They are not avoiding you. They are removing you. To them, in their mind, it's like you don't even exist anymore.
So how in the world do we make sense of this? The gentle healer on one side and the ruthless adversary on the other? Well, the key is to realize they aren't two different personalities. They are two sides of the very same coin.
You can see it laid out perfectly here. Every single one of their idealistic traits has a shadow that corresponds to it. That deep empathy can turn into manipulation. The intense desire for harmony leads to bottling things up, which fuels that INFJ rage. The drive to help and heal can become absolute ruthlessness when they feel betrayed. It's all connected.
So when it comes right down to it, the ultimate takeaway is this. The INFJ isn't a hero, and they're not a villain. They are a personality type that is simply defined by these profound, built-in contradictions. And to understand them, you have to accept that duality, not try to pick a side.
Which leaves us with one last thought. For a personality type that struggles so much with that all-or-nothing mindset, maybe their biggest challenge and their greatest potential for strength isn't about trying to be the perfect advocate, but about finally finding a balance between their light and their shadow.